But when you're looking for a cozy, comfortable, luxury, and environment that will take you to the zenith of your expectations, A&T Residential Hotels is the place. The rooms are designed to be your home away from home. We have services, both bar, room, and kitchen are all 24 hours. We have an Olympic-sized swimming pool and our gym to keep your body fit. Our staff are excellent as they welcome you with royalty. Come shake your body as our nightclub opens every Friday with Asu Barbecue. Asuya joints available all day. We have a whole capacity of about 1,500 for your occasions. Welcome to A&T Presidential Hotels, Kilometer 5, Ilesha, Owo Expressway, Akure, Ondo State. Telephone 081-4633-5949 and 070-1222-6282. A&T Presidential Hotels, comfort and class redefined.
Brand new from Airtel.
I'm living in my lane, happy every day. Things are not the same, oh no. Now I chop from a buffet, unlimited buffet. Why are not there yet? Cause I know it's more than enough for me. Ocean no fit fish, highway no get limits. I have all I need. Data unlimited. Data unlimited.
To enjoy unlimited data on your devices, visit airtel.com.ng/HBB.
Data unlimited.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
On the news tonight, university don't set standard for achieving net zero emissions and zero waste communities. Deji of Akure closes market shops for Ayerigbe Festival. Plus, stakeholders recommend minimum standard for implementation of Administration of Criminal Justice Act. You are welcome on the news tonight. Many thanks for joining us. Now the news. With the right policies, partnerships, and public commitments, Nigeria can turn a waste challenge into a climate advantage, fulfilling a vision of net zero emissions and zero waste communities. This was the focus of 183 inaugural lecture of the Federal University of Technology Akure Futa, where Professor Christiana Ijagbemi, an expert in energy and environment, highlighted how Nigeria can move closer to a sustainable future that balances economic growth, environmental health, and draw down the emissions.
Waste management remains critical challenges in many developing countries, including Nigeria, and without swift action on managed waste will continue to compound Nigeria's climate vulnerabilities. This concern was addressed in the lecture titled Waste Engineering and Climate Change, an Indigenous Alliance to the Drawdown, highlighted how employing effective waste management engineering techniques will help cities become more resilient to the extreme climate occurrences that cause flooding. Professor Christiana Ijagbemi highlighted that in decades ahead, this could become one of the planet's most powerful climate solutions.
Don't generate waste. And if you generate, think of recycling the waste. All into having a zero waste economy or environment, that it will not further affect the environment. That's by having different governmental bodies, getting funders, and seeing to educating the populace in general on how to handle materials generally, such that they will be conscious of generating waste. Because recycling waste is costly and it's also harmful to the environment and even to our health.
Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Adenike Oladiji, commended the guest lecturer urged people to effectively manage their waste for recycling.
We think that at this point, the government should be more interested in what happens, what is happening, particularly with waste. The lecturer is able to tell us that there is actually no waste. Once you call something a waste, it's because you still cannot think of how to utilize it. But like all things are useful. So now that we have problem with waste management, I think we should challenge people more to think of how to convert the waste to useful materials.
Participants commended the guest lecturer for an insightful presentation, expressed optimism that the lecture could encourage people on proper waste management.
A good lecture indeed, and I pray that the government and the public will take use of it and put it in the implementation. That's what matters most. So it's good that we are hearing the theories now. How do we implement it for the betterment of people? It's based on the implementers, the government, to carry it out.
The inaugural lecture is going to be a game changer, because if it can be distilled to the level of common men, most of the things that were mentioned at the inaugural lecture can become businesses for people.
And we can also make use of it for another purpose. And apart from that, all these agricultural purposes, the waste, it can also be used. Even in her lecture, you see that she said about all these paper, wasting of paper materials, you can recycle as many things that you can recycle to prevent your waste and can be used for the mankind and for the whole world.
However, experts observe that the lecture has informed on renewable energy generation techniques such as biogas production and waste-to-energy system that converted organic and non-recyclable waste into usable energy. From Futa in Akure, Kayode Olorundare, NTA News.
To harmonize the Criminal Justice Act across board towards ensuring its alignment with international best practices, the Center for Socio-Legal Studies created a platform for relevant stakeholders across Ondo State to interface so as to ensure fairness and protection of human rights. Ifeolu Wamoshude reports that the program held in Akure was an avenue to give various recommendations that can be adopted across the state.
The inconsistencies in the Criminal Justice Act has continued to generate concerns in various quarters as there are growing demand for a swift adjustment that will address these lapses. These growing concerns has prompted the Center for Socio-Legal Studies, CSLS, to bring together legal luminaries, security operatives and other stakeholders across Ondo State to interface on the minimum standard for the effective implementation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act and laws formulated by the Center for Socio-Legal Studies, CSLS.
Nothing is static, and the criminals have developed so many other tactics that were not envisaged by the old law. So there is definitely need to also re-examine how far we are going, moving forward.
This document, without the stakeholders, the implementation will not be all that. So we need the stakeholders from different criminal justice sectors like the police, correctional service, the lawyers from the MPA, civil societies. In fact, even the media.
Some of the participants who applauded the initiative also noted that such collaboration will seamlessly enhance the protection of human rights.
The program is very essential to meet the needs of one. The system itself needs to be regulated. Of recent, you've observed that there is prison congestion everywhere. And there is need for us to examine the administration of criminal justice system.
This workshop will help us in strengthening a bond or a fine-tuning a way or a system whereby all these things can be nipped in the bud. Because if criminals are being left off the hook unjustifiably without being punished, it will send a wrong signal to the public.
Just like we have the ACGL in all the different states, this new minimum standard will bring a kind of uniformity in how we practice and how we help in moving the administration of criminal justice forward.
The Chief Justice of Ondo State, Kayode Ajulo, also reiterated that the Ondo State Ministry of Justice is ready to adopt the recommendations for proper administration of criminal justice laws.
Here, there will be a recommendation. First, whatever may be the problem will first be identified. After identifying it, there will be some recommendation. And you can be assured that is the reason why we're here. That recommendation will be used to enhance and to develop and to put to right our administration of criminal justice.
Established in 2006, the Center for Social Legal Studies, CSLS, promotes a multidisciplinary approach to the study and practice of law. The center played a leading role in developing the Evidence Act of 2011. Nta Akure, Ifeoluwa, NTA News.
The Palace of His Majesty the Deji and Paramount Ruler of Akure Kingdom has notified residents of Akure and its environs that all market stores and shops in Akure will be shut on Thursday, 14 August 2025, in observance of the age-long tradition of the annual Ayerigbe Festival. In a statement released by the Chief Press Secretary to the Deji of Akure Kingdom, Michael Adeyeye, the statement added that residents, market women, and shop owners are enjoined to comply with this directive and ensure strict observance of the rules. However, in view of the importance attached to the health sector, only pharmacy shops and patent medicine stores are exempted from closure during the festival. The festival will not in any way restrict both human and vehicular movement. The House of Representatives Joint Committee on Certificate Racketeering has embarked on oversight to some agencies as a step to addressing the issues surrounding certificate racketeering among Nigerian students. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
Cases of certificate racketeering by Nigerian students allegedly with the connivance of some government officials prompted the investigation by the House Committee. The Ministry of Interior was the first port of call to assess passport and data records of students studying overseas.
The essence of this interface is to rub minds and identify areas that require legislative intervention and the best way to curb the proliferation of this menace in our institutions and take decisive steps towards protecting integrity of Nigerian education system.
So why we are here is to find out whether what happened was right or not, and we are not actually talking about your past.
The committee also visited the Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology, the National Center for Technology Management, and the Nigerian Institute of Science Laboratory Technology, all on the same mission.
A lot of people have gotten these fake degrees. They have gotten appointments into the civil service and many other agencies of government. So to save the nation from this embarrassment.
The real issues are beyond the issues of certificates. It's an issue of we are not training the people at the level they are supposed to be training, and because that is happening, we are now having those who are now supplying the end product, which is the paper.
We have the enabling law to punish those who are even fraudulent. It's there in the Criminal Code Act, section 243 to 245.
There is a staff that actually did a fellowship certificate for a particular member sometimes ago, years back. And of course, the person presented it in the place of work, and the investigation catch up with that person, and they set up a panel, and that staff is about almost 10-15 years ago. The staff was actually sacked.
The Joint Committee stated that they are not out for witch hunt, but tackling a national problem. The oversight visits continue with other MDAs. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
We'll go on a break. The news continues shortly. Please stay with us. Many thanks. thanks for staying tuned. Momentum is building for a major shake-off of the Nigerian civil service with a nationwide personnel audit and skills gap analysis kicking off this August. The goal is to make the service sharper, faster, and more responsive, so it truly delivers for the people. This was one of the hot topics dissected by guests on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria during a lively conversation on civil service reforms. Oluseye Adiagbo reports.
Citizens. Dr. Gideon Adogbo, Senior Technical Advisor, Governance Reform, Technology and Innovations, shared a host of innovative ideas designed to smooth the journey towards full digitization of government services. It was clear if the civil service is going to meet modern demands, embracing technology isn't optional. It's the heartbeat of reform.
For civil service to deliver the services to the citizens, they need to use technology. And that's where digitalization is coming in, to ensure that all work processes are digitalized. And it's about inclusivity. And where this reform is very people-centric.
Every civil servant that uses service by GPT, it's like you have your own digital personal assistance at your fingertip. It captures the human resource, the procurement aspect, the compendium of circulars. So it's like all in one.
The panel took a closer look at how to make this digital leap inclusive, ensuring no group, young or old, is left struggling in the new tech-driven system.
We're going to have a personnel audit and skill gap analysis. Looking at the mandates again, and then checking the staff and making sure that we have the staff we need. And at the end of it, we'll have data about where the gaps are.
We followed the process and procedures. It was implementing the policies. Definitely, achievement of this implementation of these policies would not be attained without vis-a-vis taking the welfare of civil servants along with the policy implementation.
Public reactions streamed in via GMN's social media channels, echoing support for the changes. Still, viewers had a clear message for policymakers. Make sure each ministry's reform plan reflects its unique needs and realities, or risks missing the mark. In Abuja, Oluseye Adiagbo, NTA News.
The federal government raked in 5.21 trillion naira from sale of crude oil, gas, and other economic activities in the first 6 months of 2025. For this and more business news, let's join Samuel Sheson.
The federal government, through the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, raked in 5.21 trillion from the sale of crude oil, gas, and other economic activity in the first 6 months of 2025. It said the revenue inflow represents 42.7% of the record 12.2 trillion naira it generated in the entire 2024 fiscal year. Revenue inflow obtained from the Commission's latest report submitted at the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee meeting. Documents reveal that the January to June 2025 earnings include payments from Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited joint venture and production sharing contract royalty receivables totaling to 1.04 trillion naira for the period. In another development, the pump price of petrol is expected to drop below 900 per litre as the Dangote refinery reduced the ex-depot price of the product from 850 naira to 820 per litre. As part of their unwavering commitment to national development, Dangote Petroleum Refinery assured the public of a consistent and uninterrupted supply of petroleum products. And that will be all on business news in Akure. Samuel Sesson, NTA News.
And that's the news. We thank you for watching. Good evening.